Vets of Reddit, what was the worst pet name you have ever encountered in your job? Envelope. So I'm not a vet, but I'm deeply involved in the horse world. There's a discipline called halter, and many of the horses are genetic atrocities to begin with. They've been bred to the point of uselessness. When naming quarter horses, many breeders like to create a registered name that incorporates the parents' names and bloodlines. So, somebody bred together the stallion Kids classic style and a mare looking touchable. The best name that the breeders could come up with for the foal? Kids looking touchable. Yeah. That's the best they could come up with. SI, for a chihuahua. Just made the whole consultation very awkward. Not a vet, but I lived in the Marshall Islands for a few years and I noticed that all black male dogs are named Lukilamage, black boy. All white male dogs are named Lamau, white boy. All brown male dogs are Laburon, brown boy. One of my boys wanted to name one of our dogs Meat Stack. My son was 6 when we adopted the puppy. Same kid wanted to name his brother Turtle Flower when he was born. Needless to say, he is not in charge of naming things in our household. Old neighbor lady had a cat named Face because it had a beautiful face, she said. My brother-in-law named his cat Salad. Klitzy. Mom owns a vet practice, so had a lot of these. Best worst pet parents named their cat D, O, G, and their dog C, A, T. James Bond was my favorite doggy, Pekingese. He was hilarious. There were so many Mittens, Fluffies, Spots and Buddies, they got lost in the sea of animals. Worst story was a rescued golden retriever who was so malnourished they nicknamed him Pancake. Sadly, Pancake's kidneys were done, so he dies 2 days after he was rescued by the local animal control. The 2 days I got to feed and spend time with him made it all the harder to realize he could have been saved if his family had let him go instead of leaving him chained up in the yard before they left. I hate people a lot of the time. Edit. Thanks for all the love, friends. I still have a picture of him on my phone. Won't forget him like his owners did. My first pet that I can remember getting was a fish when I was about 3 or 4 years old. My dog's name was Freddy. The vet put it in as Freddy. I felt so ridiculous. And never told them Osif that's not how he spells his name. In the South, I was in a waiting room with someone who brought their chicken named Tikka. Like chicken tikka. Raccoon. Our daughter was 3 when she named the all-black cat. I still have no idea why she named him that. He does appear a bit chunky like a well-fed raccoon now. My old neighbors apparently thought it would be a good idea to let their 3-year-old name their dog. The dog was named Dump Truck. Not a vet, but I took in a cat from a family named Lord Whimsilet III. Yes. There were previous Lord Whimsilets. We nicknamed him Wimmy. There was once a guy that was selling his black cat. He called it Astalia. Astalia was a group of soldiers from Croatia in the 1990s. They are taboo today because of the crimes things they did. When I adopted my 2 cars from the shelter, the staff had named them after internet browsers and search engines. I got Google and Explorer. Another couple got Firefox and Bing. Mine were promptly renamed. It's good that you're adopting your cars instead of buying the cars from a breeder. My grandmother's jet black and incredibly angry cat was called Rainbow. Edit. I'm not a vet either. XGF was a vet nurse. She came across a cat in the system called Horatio Bradshaw Roadwork. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Don't be a shtier lord. I'm just being polite. I used to volunteer, not as a vet, at an animal shelter. We had to give all the stray cats dogs that came in names. For in the database, they had to be unique because sometimes you had to do a search and you can't have the name Simba popping up 1,000 times. It happened. So one time we had 2 dogs that came in together and they named them Sala and me, Salami. It was just for during their stay. The owner was free to change the names. So not that bad, and my co-worker was very creative. My cat's name is John Hinckley. Jr. Because he was a stray that stalked me for a year and killed things to give me as offerings. Not a vet, but an owner. When my German Shepherd goes in, I tell them he responds to dog. His actual name is Dante. And he comes running when anyone even breathes it. But if all I want to do is get him to look over to me or to stop whatever he's doing, I just say dog. Also, he gets very excited whenever anyone tells him he also has fat butt disease, the office. He pushes you around with his big butt asking for scratches. Vet's office staff seemed very pleased with this information. We keep calling his name but he doesn't get excited at all. Just tell him he has fat butt disease. Vet tech here. Worst one was hands down Tub General 96. It was a name given to a sweet, young adult female cat. The owners thought they were funny. My dad has always wanted a dog named Ask Him, so when someone asks what your dog's name is you can just say Ask Him. Edit. Thanks for the free awards. Orkim, Ashkim, is also a word of endearment basically meaning my love in Turkish too. My cat's name is Shu. My friend's aunt has a cat named Titties. Can we come play with her aunt's titties? Not a vet. I know. Sorry. Close bracket. My dad adopted a stray cat who wandered into his yard once. The first time he saw the cat, not much past kitten stage, his response was, "What a little shitty." Little shitty became the cat's name on the vet paperwork. The sad part was that she got her leg caught in a door once and ended up having it amputated, which led to a really awkward conversation in grade school before I was old enough to know better. When I told my teacher that my dad has a cat with 3 legs and her name is Little Shitty. I'm not a vet but this is somewhat related. One of our dogs is a pug. We got him a long time ago from a bad home. My wife and I kind of waited around too long to give him a proper name. So now we still just call him Pug or the Pug. I'm a little embarrassed when I take him to the vet and they ask his name and it's just Pug. You could always say his full name is Pugless, like Douglas. I'm a vet. Senior year in vet school. All the students meet in the morning to review what's coming for their service that day: surgery, internal medicine, onco, etc., and pick cases. On the roster one day was a dog named Nia. This was rural Washington in the 90s. So not the most enlightened place or time. We had one black student in our class, a smart and fiery woman. After some gasps from the students, she claimed the case and set about to read up on it. The people and the poor dog showed up, and this student went in to get the history. I can only imagine the looks on the owners' faces. The student said the exchange went something like this. Vet student: "Hi. I'm future Dr. X. I'll be working with you today. I see your dog is named Nia. For today, let's just go with Lucky." I can't recall how the rest of the case went, but this was a proud moment for our class. Kitty. Now you may be wondering why that's a bad name. Kitty was an iguana. Edit. Should add I met this iguana when I was taking my dog to the vet. I'm not a vet. I was once at the dog park and this lady kept yelling at her dog. "Kevin. Get over here, Kevin. Let me take your picture. Kevin. Kevin." Kevin was an old, overweight black lab. I still laugh when I think about it. Obligatory not a vet. But my history teacher told us that he let his daughter name the cat when she was very young. And she called him Fluffabert. Years later she decided to rename him Milo. History teacher lived in a fairly rough area of the city and didn't exactly enjoy yelling Fluffabert into the night to get the cat home. Not a vet, but have worked with pets over the years. There was an old GSD named Wally, a Lhasa named Sky, and a cat named Bird Dog. Best name ever was a one-eared Chihuahua mix named Vincent. Not a vet, sorry, but I worked in a dog kennel for 12 years. Worst names were a pair of Labradors. One white blonde and one black. Their names? Cracker and Tarbaby. The owners were the most trailer trash redneck hicks you could ever imagine. A cat named Monster, which wouldn't be that bad. Except that the family's last name was Johnson. Monster Johnson, ha 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 ha. Nav. Cat is named Tuna Fish Jones. Sometimes called Toonses. Not a vet. F Knuckles the cat. Not a vet, but I saw a posting for a cat named Fawcett. Not a vet. Growing up, I had a friend who owned an iguana named TDI. The damn iguana. Named by his mother who rated it. As I recall. Edit. I'm cracking up that my highest rated comment has to do with that damn iguana IA. Edit 2. Thank you for the awards. Kind people. Please don't spend actual money on them for me. Though. Use it to buy something nice for yourself. When I was a kid down south, there were at least 2 black dogs named Nia in my neighborhood. It was pretty common. Not a vet. But I knew someone who had a cat named Sifa. Which sounded fine to a child's ears. I later found out it was actually called C4. C for cat. I rolled so hard when I found out. Obligatory not a vet. But. Close bracket. One time I was taking my dog to the vet for a checkup cause she had an ear infection. While waiting in the lobby, an older woman comes in with a dachshund in her arms and lets him sit on the counter. This isn't a problem for the staff, as they love dogs. Especially small dogs. The receptionist asks for the woman's name. Reason for visit. Then finally asks what the dog's name was. Dachshund. The receptionist says, oh. I know his breed. But what is his name? Full stop. Older woman looks her dead in the eye and in a slightly quieter voice she says Dachshund again. The receptionist looked confused for a second and the room was dead silent. So when the amount of laughter enraged, it was hard not to as well. Receptionist asks the woman why she named her Dachshund. Dachshund. And the woman was quiet for a minute before replying. Dot. He likes it. His little tail was wagging the entire time. Probably mine. My last name starts with K. And I was a captain in the USAF. For some reason. Captain Crunch stuck with me. Edit. Well. Shti. Maybe I should read the responses more carefully. That kind of vet. Edit number 2. Thanks to all who rewarded my stupidity. Your acts of kindness will not go unnoticed. I will look for someone equally inept as I am. And pay it forward. In polished rural areas, almost all black dogs used to be called Merzin, Negro. Semicolon. Edit. As some people noticed. Merzin is not a polish N-word. That would be Zinach if anyone's interested. But it's still considered pejorative. My aunt has a 3-legged dog named Eileen. I think it's brilliant though. Not a vet, but my cat was named Minka. It's an Italian word. Apparently it's spelled Mincia and loosely translates into FCK. An old co-worker moved into a share housing arrangement. Roommate had a cat named Furburger. The co-worker and her roommates were all lesbians. Not a vet. But I once knew a cat named Hitler. He was named that because he was all white except for a black spot where the mustache would go. He was a stray. But everyone in the neighborhood knew him and left food out. And he answered to that name. Edit. Jesus F. King Christ, I get it. Hitler. Very original. 127 replies. We just seen one cat named Pusky. Unsure if there is some sort of reference here, but I just think it's such a bad name. Last week we had a black Spider-Man. Apparently the kid named the cat. I'm not a vet. But I've met a dog before named Neutered. The owner said that it will always make the dog remember the owner has the power and not the dog. That's just cursed. Not a vet. But I once picked up a loose Great Dane named Ben Stiller. My bro's cat's name is Baby Kitty. It is like 8 years old now. Always fun for them calling into the vet. Notorious P. I. G. Aka piggy smalls for a guinea pig. On second thoughts, add that to the best name ever encountered. Booty ham sandwich. The parents called him Boo though. I have a pet cat named Anakin. He's a dual color black and white cat. He has a wavy line down his sides and the top half of him is black and the bottom half is white. He looks a lot like a yin yang. We joke that he has a struggle with the dark side and he's half good and half evil. Ironically, we only named him that because I thought he was a girl when I first got him and I wanted to name her Annie. Turns out he was a boy, and by the time I found this out he was already used to that name, so we just decided to name him Anakin instead of Andy. Not a vet, but a frequent customer in our store has a dog named Kim Jong-un. Edit. Maybe not the worst name, but he calls for the dog. A look of the people faces. Not a vet, but I just had to share this one. I once met an older couple who let their toddler grandkid name their black and white Harlequin Great Dane. His name was Moo. Karen. Did they want to bark at the manager? I was a vet assistant for a few years. Best pet name award goes to a pharmacist that named her 3 cats Percocet, Oxycontin, and Narcotic. Obligatory. Not a vet, but my vet did have a solid laugh when I took my guinea pig in for a hay poke and looked at the paperwork. My piggy's name is Boop. Specifically, it's Boopless Snoots. She boops your snoot. Also, when she makes excited guinea pig scree noises, it sounds like she's saying boop real fast. And that's how we talk to her. Yeah. Gotta be careful not to spookle the boople. Though, she spookles easy. Reminds me of a guy who was walking in the park and some dog comes running towards him with a person behind it going, "Shoot her. Shoot her." Turns out the dog's name was Shooter. Would not be an issue where I live. But this story came from America, where I assume the pavement is made from stray bullets and guns fall from the skies on overcast days. Not a vet, but we rescued a Chihuahua and ended up naming him Lil Man. Now he's overweight and I call him Medium Man. My ex and I found a blind kitten one time. We weren't sure if she was going to live, but when she and her mom went to the vet they told them its name was Helen, as in Helen Keller. Coincidentally, my ex had a friend with another blind cat who was named Sockets. My drill sergeant liked to call me Shved. Jeb. My favorite fish growing up was a blue and red betta. The blue and red mixed into purple where it met. And I could swear he actually heard me talk when I vented to him. He had a big awesome tank and would jump out of the water for treats. His name was Kevin. R.I.P. Not a vet. I was about to cross the street one day and this guy had already reached my side of the street. He stopped to look down at where his dog should be, but much to his chagrin, no dog. He turned back to the other side of the street and shouted through the crowd of people, "Hippo. Come on." This absolute unit of a bulldog slowly saunters after the guy, parting the sea of pedestrians. He looked like Rocky Balboa if he was a dog. To this day I don't think I've ever met a dog with a name that suited them any better. There's a mule that we sometimes see named Tarbaby. I'll let you look up the origins of that one. Hitler and Breivik. And Osh equals shower in Swedish. I took my cat to one of those mass spay-neuter clinic. They had a list of all the pets getting spayed-neutered that day. And right above my cat's name was a poor little kitten named Tyrannosaurus triceratops. Not a vet. My neighbors named their dog Serendipity. That's a long name, so they started calling it Dippity. And now everyone just calls it Dippy or Dip. Most people think its full name is Dipstick for its white-tipped tail, or Dipshti because it doesn't listen to anyone. The worst name I ever encountered was literally called Wigglebutt. God save me from whatever child named this thing. I call my dog Wigglebutt. It's not her name or anything. Just an apt description. Not a vet. Damn it. My young adult brother thought that was the greatest name to ever give a dog. Come here. Damn it. Sit. Damn it, sit. Damn it. Did you piss on the rug? It was funny. And the dog reacted well to his name. But he had to rename the dog. Because of the 5-year-old twins that lived next to my parents. They would grasp the fence between the yards and scream in unison. Damn it. Damn it. Come here, damn it. Damn it. OMG, I thought it meant like veterans of Reddit, like people who have been here a long time. Not a vet. But my old boss, a middle-aged gay man, named his dog Ming. Just so he could say us stop scratching Ming. For anyone not from the UK. Work as a groomer assistant, so I have a few. Coda, usually huskies, annoys me the most because every owner thinks it's unique and quirky. The amount of owners that tell me they just wanted a fresh and unusual name is crazy. We've literally brought out the wrong Coda to owners because there were 6 in the back. Still is a pretty name, just hear it all the time. Pooh, she TZU, not Winnie the Pooh, just Pooh. I literally had to confirm the spelling and pronunciation with the owner. Bluffy and Barfy, Maltipus, I'm pretty sure it translates to something different culturally. I believe Barfy is a dessert, but hearing it for the first time was very confusing. Schmoopsy, a effing horrible Great Dane. I don't even know why this dumbest dog and dumbest name exist. My Sil has a cat named Herpes because he just showed up one day and now they can't get rid of him. My cats are Beavis and Butthead.